guys, it is me, Michaela. As promised, I'm here with your 1-year Nexplanon implant update. So, Nexplanon is a little tiny matchstick device that is inserted into the arm that slowly releases progesterone over a period of 3 years. This is the incision scar, so it's super tiny. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but like when I press on it, that kind of pops out. That's actually the device, and it's about that long. Yeah. So, it is slow releasing, which is why it can be left in for 3 years, and it stops you from ovulating, essentially. I'm not really sure how the science behind how the period still happens, even though you're taking a hormone that prevents you from ovulating, although there are some women who completely stop having a period, which is why a lot of women choose this, because like, who likes having a period? Nobody. Anyway, the fact that it releases progesterone is a very important fact if you have hormone sensitivities. I was taking, my very first form of birth control was the NuvaRing, and it uses estrogen and progesterone, and I was getting terrible migraines whenever I would take it out. So on NuvaRing, what you would do is you do 3 weeks on, 1 week off, so it's 1 month. So the week off is your period, but it's not a real period, it's a like forced period essentially. So yes, anyway, I was getting really bad headaches and it was just really uncomfortable, so I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Migraines to the point where like I would have to like lay down. It was very, very bad. So I tried the Mirena, which is a IUD. Personally, what I really wanted was a device that I could just leave in and not have to worry about, because let's be real, your girl is very forgetful and lazy. So if she's laying in bed and her alarm goes off to take her birth control pill, she's gonna be like, So yeah, that's why I just wanted a device instead of taking a pill or getting the shot or whatever. So I got the Mirena. It was the most painful experience I've ever had in my entire life. I am really sad about that because a lot of women have had great experiences with the IUD insertion, even ones who haven't given birth vaginally before or given birth at all. So I was a little upset when that happened, and then on top of that, it expelled itself. So my body was like, no sir, no thank you. So I was getting really, really bad cramps to the point where it pushed out the device. And after you expel an IUD, you are 68% more likely to expel a second IUD. And because of the pain that I went through the first time I inserted, I was like, I'm not going through that again just for it to come out again. Yeah, and that was the smallest one. So like, normally people who haven't given birth will get the smallest IUD because your uterus is very, very small. It's not like stretched out because there was a baby in there. So that's why you get the small one. But mine was like, no thank you. And then the one that I wanted originally was the copper IUD because it is non-hormonal. It uses copper, like a copper coil, to kill the sperm. The side effects of that is heavy bleeding and cramping, but I had extreme cramping and lots of spotting while I was on the Mirena. And I also, well, we're talking about Nexplanon. I was just leading you to why I chose Nexplanon. Those are the reasons I chose Nexplanon, because the IUD didn't work, the NuvaRing didn't work, I don't want to take pills, and this was the next best thing. And I don't want to take the shot either because you're only supposed to take the shots for a year because one of the side effects is osteoporosis or bone deterioration, and I'm not into that. And also, I don't want to have to go to the doctor every however many months it takes, and the patch can lead to skin irritation, and they're just like, I'm just trying to reduce the amount of side effects I have in general. So yeah. But after a year of using the Nexplanon implant, it works. I'm not pregnant, but some side effects I was unaware of because I did very light research when I was researching the Nexplanon, because I had known somebody with a Nexplanon implant and they were very, very happy with it. So I was like, you know what? Well, she loves it, so why can't I? Let me just get it. So after having the Nexplanon for, I want to say around like June or July, so maybe like 2 months after having it, I had a really long period. So you're supposed to get the implant after your period, and I think I had just ended my period. So just so it could be like on a cycle, like you start a cycle, if that makes sense. That's what they told me. So I got it inserted, and then I was spotting. I would like spot and then be fine for like a couple weeks, or I would get like a 4-day period and then no period for 2 weeks, and that was for like 2 months. And then after that, I was getting really long periods that it would be like 2 weeks of a period and then 1 week to 3 days with no period and then another period, or 1 day where there was just no bleeding and then all of a sudden it was bleeding like I was just bleeding yesterday. It was really confusing. And then just recently I had a period for 4 weeks, and this was the worst one I had because the first 3 weeks of it was just like a regular period, just regular bleeding all the time, super freaking annoying. And then the last week of the period, it was like extremely heavy bleeding, and I was using the Nixit cup, but unfortunately, user error, it just stopped working. It kept slipping out. No matter what I would do, it just wouldn't stay up there. So I invested in some period underwear. They were all on sale because your girl can't afford period underwear full price. So I now have 6 pairs of period underwear, and there was a lot of, I literally wore 6 pairs of underwear for 1 whole month because I was bleeding so much. And that last week I was washing my underwear every single day because I would go through 2, 3, 4 pairs in 1 day because it was so heavy. Now it's been about 2 or 3 weeks with no period at all. There's minimal spotting, and when I say spotting, I mean like streaks of like red and then that's it, or streaks of like a pinkish, but no like actual bleeding. So with all that being said, I still stand by the idea that I don't want to be on hormonal birth control anymore, but because I'm in a relationship, I think I'm just going to keep it in until the 3 years is over, and then while I'm waiting for the 3 years to be over, I'm going to start practicing the fertility awareness method, because I would rather practice it and mess up while I have a hormonal birth control than just start it and like mess up and get pregnant while I'm not on a birth control. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I feel like I did a video on fertility awareness method when I did a contraception video on when I was doing like Freaky Friday videos. I'm not entirely sure, but just a general overview of what fertility awareness method is. It is basically where you track the height of your cervix, your cervical fluid, your periods, your moods, the main thing is your basal body temperature and your cervical mucus. There's a book called Fertility Awareness, or Taking Control of Your Fertility. I haven't finished reading it yet. I'm almost done actually, but it's a lot of stuff about just general female reproductive issues, why they occur, fertility problems, how they are misdiagnosed and stuff like that. But it also gives you throughout the book, it gives you a good overview of the method. So I highly suggest that if you're interested in non-hormonal birth control. Also, my friend and I were talking about different, like why we hate hormonal birth control and like alternatives to it, and she found these little strips that are spermicide, and what you do is you like roll it up and you put it in your vagina and you wait like, I don't know, 30 minutes and then you have sex, and it's a spermicide. So if you use that with condom, that's a good practice. And then I found this thing called Smart Women's Choice. I don't know if I couldn't find any like conclusive scientific research on it, like how effective it is, but it's like it's kind of like a lubricant that inhibits the sperm from being able to move. So it's not spermicidal, it's a sperm inhibitor. So it prevents the tail from moving or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but so that's something to look into if you're interested. Those are definitely things I will consider once I'm off my birth control and once I've been practicing fertility awareness method, with a brief overview of my Nexplanon experience. The first month, just regular, the standard. You might have some spotting and irregular period, and then the months after that, lots of bleeding, or lots of bleeding and then no bleeding for like 2 weeks and then more bleeding. And then just recently, in the last 2 months, bleeding for 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and now it's been 3 weeks since I last had my period. So that was my experience. If you're looking into Nexplanon, I highly recommend you look at the side effects, because I feel like a lot of time when it comes to birth control, we aren't told the true side effects or the statistics. Yeah, I just don't like the instability and the unknown, because before, my period was very regular. I knew when it was going to start and when it was going to end. I also knew how long I would be bleeding, medium, light, and heavy. Like, I knew my period to a T, and now I don't know it at all, which is really frustrating, because then, you know, when it starts, literally every time I start spotting, I'm like, oh my god, it starts again. Well, I don't know when the end is going to be near, but yeah, that's one thing I miss about my period, is just knowing all the time when it was going to start and when it was going to end. And another thing to add, before I got on any hormonal birth control, before I tried NuvaRing, before I tried Mirena, before I tried Nexplanon, I didn't get any cramps. But after I used the NuvaRing, I started getting cramps. I don't know if that says anything, but I think it's suspicious, because I was 18, okay? So yes, people are wondering about mood swings. I think I did experience the mood fluctuations, but I'm not entirely sure that is all due to the Nexplanon, because I was trying to get into a relationship and now I'm in a relationship, so I don't know if I have like mood fluctuations because I'm having to interact with another person, or if it's because of the birth control. I don't know. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you found this informational, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. And let me know if you have any questions. I might do another video about birth control if you're interested in it. Goodbye.